Okay, picture this. You're sitting down after dinner, staring at a warm, comforting, traditional dessert. And someone next to you leans in and says, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's made with Jaggery, so it won't spike your blood sugar." Or maybe you've piled your plate high with massive servings of sweet fruits, absolutely convinced that because they literally grow in the earth, you're somehow totally safe from diabetes, right? It's incredibly common to hear these things. We all desperately want to believe our favorite natural sweets are harmless. But today, we're going to ask a really tough, scientifically grounded question. Is Jaggery actually safe for you? Or are we just telling ourselves exactly what we want to hear? Well, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because today we're launching a full-on medical investigation into some of the most deeply rooted dietary myths out there. We're going to completely decode what happens inside your body when you eat sweet things, break down the actual science of blood sugar, and finally figure out the true culprits behind diabetes. And as always, we're leaving the hearsay out the door and relying purely on the facts. Let's crack this case. Section 1. The Comforting Alibis. Why we make excuses. Now, before we get into the heavy biology, we kind of have to look at the psychology. When it comes to chronic conditions like diabetes, the truth can honestly feel a bit overwhelming. So rather than facing the complex reality of our daily habits, what do? We create these convenient, everyday excuses. We build alibis for the foods we love so we can just keep eating them guilt-free. And our most famous cultural alibi? Jaggery is natural, so it doesn't cause sugar spikes. Think about it. Jaggery is deeply tied to our traditions. It feels wholesome, rustic, and pure. Because it isn't processed in the same harsh way as white factory sugar, this massive myth has formed that it magically bypasses our body's glucose response. But here's a reality check. Depending on how it's manufactured, Jaggery can actually be up to 85% pure sucrose. So it acts as the ultimate comforting illusion, letting our sweet tooth just run wild under the guise of making a healthy choice. And right alongside Jaggery, we have this second massive excuse. Fruits are natural, so they're completely safe. Now let's be clear, nobody is saying fruits are bad for you, literally far from it. But this quote highlights a really dangerous assumption. We tend to think that natural means we get a total free pass to eat unlimited quantities without any metabolic consequence. It's basically a hearsay rule passed down at dinner tables. But unfortunately, your digestive system doesn't listen to dinner table hearsay. It listens to biology.
And the biological reality is simple and honestly undeniable. All sweet things raise blood glucose, period. It genuinely does not matter if the sweet thing was refined in a massive factory, boiled down in a local village, or plucked right off a beautiful tree in your backyard. If it contains sugar, your body is going to break it down into glucose, and your blood sugar levels will increase. The source of the sugar might change the packaging it comes in, but it absolutely doesn't change the foundational biology.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole picture. When we compare the blood sugar impact of fruits against things like Jaggery and refined sugar, we see that they all contain natural sugar. The difference is entirely about speed. Fruits come packed with a heavy matrix of fiber and essential nutrients, right? That means they cause a much slower, gradual rise in your blood sugar. It's like a slow drip. But Jaggery and white sugar, they lack that heavy fiber matrix, so they cause a rapid, practically identical spike in your glucose levels. It's like opening the floodgates. But the key takeaway here is that an excess of any of them ultimately leads to higher blood sugar. Moving on to Section 2, the real culprits. Beyond the sweets. So if we can't just point the finger at one type of sugar or magically clear natural sweets of all charges, what is actually causing the problem? Well, the crucial point is that we need to look at the invisible mechanisms failing inside the body, specifically insulin inefficiency. Think of your body's cells like a long hallway of locked doors, and glucose is the energy just waiting outside in your bloodstream trying to get in. In this scenario, insulin is the key. Diabetes happens when insulin either isn't produced in high enough amounts, meaning you literally just don't have enough keys, or when the insulin doesn't work properly anymore. It's like the key has become totally warped and just won't fit the lock. Because of that, the glucose can't get into the cell, so it just builds up and up in the blood. That is the true mechanical failure of diabetes.
But what actually warps the key in the first place? What causes that insulin inefficiency? Well, it's not just a single piece of candy. It's a combination of hidden accomplices working together. We're talking about carrying excess weight, we're talking about leading a sedentary lifestyle with a severe lack of exercise, carrying high levels of chronic stress, maintaining a generally poor diet over a long period of time, and, of course, family genetics. If diabetes runs in your family, your baseline risk is already higher. It is the combination of these lifestyle and genetic factors that ultimately breaks down your body's ability to process glucose.
Section 3. Fact versus fiction. Okay, let's crack this case wide open and systematically dismantle those comforting illusions we talked about. Let's rapid fire this. Myth number 1. Jaggery is safe and doesn't cause sugar spikes. The fact? Jaggery contains sugar and it raises your blood glucose rapidly. You need to treat it just like sugar. Myth number 2. Fruits are totally safe and don't raise sugar because they're natural. The fact here? While the fiber definitely slows the spike, eating fruit in excess absolutely still raises your blood sugar. And myth number 3, probably the biggest one of all, only eating sugar causes diabetes. The hard fact is that diabetes is a highly complicated condition driven by your lifestyle, weight, genetics, and insulin inefficiency. We have to stop blaming a single ingredient and start looking at the whole machine. Which brings us to section 4, taking control of your health. Now, knowing all of this biological reality shouldn't scare you. It should completely empower you. Because once you strip away the myths and understand how the machine actually works, you get the power to fix it. So here is your highly actionable game plan for managing your long-term health. Step 1, maintain a balanced diet. Stop looking for magical loopholes like Jaggery. Instead, focus on overall balance and portion control. Step 2, commit to regular exercise. Movement is literally the best way to make your cells sensitive to insulin again. It essentially fixes those broken locks we talked about. Step 3, focus on stress reduction, because high stress hormones directly spike your blood sugar. And step 4, schedule regular checkups to catch any insulin inefficiency before it spirals out of control. These 4 lifestyle modifications, that is your real prescription. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought. Stop making convenient excuses. Understand the real causes. Cultural dietary myths might taste incredibly sweet, and they might offer a really comforting alibi at the dinner table, but they absolutely won't protect your health. Science will. The choices you make every single day, how you move your body, how you manage your stress, how you balance your overall diet, that is what truly defines your health. So the question is, are you ready to stop looking for excuses and start taking real control? If you found this medical investigation helpful and eye-opening, I want you to join our community. Whether you're reading the Marathi, the Hindi, or the English on screen, the message is exactly the same. Subscribe, like, and share my channel. Send this explainer to that one friend or family member who still thinks Jaggery is a free pass, and let's keep learning together. Until next time, stay curious, stay focused, and keep taking